Shalom, shalom aleichem. Shalom to the 12 tribes that are scattered worldwide. I am King Brittany Chanel. A king is a descendant and a ruler of a divine race. That divine people is Yasharah, okay? We are the descendants from the 12 tribes of Yasharah that are scattered, not lost, okay? And hey to the Gentiles that are following after Yah's righteousness. So good to see you too. So you guys, in today's video, I want to talk about an issue that Yasharelite women face, right? You guys know, or if you don't know and you're new to, you know, where we're at in the current times, melanated people or so-called black people are known by bywords. This was a sign of the curses. You guys, if you haven't read Deuteronomy, that's a good read. This would be a sign of the curses because unfortunately our ancestors committed whoredoms where the Most High specifically instructed these individuals to not get involved with pagan traditions and getting involved with these other gods, which are, you know, another word for, you know, other little g's are like demons or whatever that people at that time period was worshiping. And so what happened is we got kicked out of the land, went into slavery, and now we here. Okay, so of course certain things transpired, and one of those things is that our perception of Yasharelite man is slighted, and our perception of Yasharelite woman is slighted. And I have to mention this because I feel like Yasharelite women are unfairly compared to other nations of women. And we're often viewed from a Eurocentric lens instead of looking at us from a Yasharelite perspective, okay? Yasharelites came from the continent of Africa, and women there, historically, we are different. All women are not the same. We're not, you know, what do they call it? A monolith. And I learned this, that a lot of men view women the same from the manosphere, like watching that manospheric content. And you guys, please, you know, right now I'm airing out my hair. I cannot put my head covering on. So we here. I big chopped also. We here. Okay, so really not apologizing because it's like I'm not religious. I don't, oh my God, I got to, but I'm not trying to come on camera with a bonnet on, okay, if that makes any sense. I would have, you know, waited, but I wanted to really get this out because my thoughts about this subject matter was real. Okay, I feel like we're unfairly compared to these other nations of women because our men have been indoctrinated from a Euro perspective, right? Like they've been indoctrinated to view certain things as more beautiful than their own culture, and to try to say that that's not going on, and oh no, yeah, when your own women were not allowed to come outside with their own wool out, you know what I'm saying, where there were like, and this is what I love about the Most High. I feel like he always uses stuff that the Gentiles try to do for our harm, for our good, where we were forced to, because our hair was seen as exotic, we were forced to, and I believe in Louisiana, to wrap our hair so that it wouldn't cause a distraction. But at the same time, if you head cover for spiritual and religious purposes, I feel like Yah made that for your good also, as a form of modesty and as a form of, you know, keeping you from unnecessary demonic or lustful gazes. You get what I'm saying? Empowering you from a modesty perspective. And you guys know on my channel, I'm about modesty from the African Yasharelite perspective. I'm not about modesty from the Eurocentric perspective. That's why you guys, you don't see me gauging stuff from that Euro lens, if that makes any sense. That's not my culture, and you're not going to see me getting into that stuff from the Euro lens, right? And a lot of people, they try to tout the Bible from a Euro lens when it's an African book. But we're not going to get into that in this video. I just want to stick to the facts. I had to say that before getting to the fact that we've seen that in our history. Our women and our men that are Yasharalites have went through things. Therefore, we cannot be looking at each other from a Euro lens expecting things to be peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? But also, we're not even just talking about the things that come from the curses of Deuteronomy and the dysfunction part. We're also talking about you're expecting your woman to be feminine from a Eurocentric perspective. Boom. Here we go. I done got to it. Our women, historically, have never been damsels in distress. I'm saying it because it's a lot going on with this soft life content. And yes, our women are feminine and delicate, but we have to keep it from an Afrocentric perspective, right? Our women, if you looking at videos and stuff of Africa, our women was walking with no shoes on, water on our head, baby on our back, getting work done. And that is seen as a sign of beauty and femininity. Because your ultimate role as a Yasharalite woman is what? The homemaker, right? The keeper of home. And also as a keeper of home, that means that femininity is also, your body is what? The home. It's supposed to be the temple of, it is the temple of the Most High Yah. Meaning that as a keeper of home, if the Most High entrusts his son to you, you are supposed to make the space that your family is in home. You are supposed to impart to your children the law of their mothers, which is really Abaya's law. But mothers are the first teachers. So our culture is different. We have never been damsels in distress. But you have a lot of our men that they perpetuate this, these other women are fit and friendly and this, that, and the third. And, our women are so, aggressive and, they want to run things. And let's get to that also. You don't come from a culture where women have not been in leadership. Now, I'm not talking about leadership in a perspective where we're jumping the hierarchy, because we know that it's the Yah, Yehoshua HaMashiach, the man who is the head, the man is the head of the house. And then, Yehoshua HaMashiach, or who y'all call Christ, is head of man. And then, the man and then the wife is head over the kids, right? So keeper of home, head over the kids, and she governs that. The man is the head of the household, the protector of the household in that. So we following. But outside of that structure, we know for a fact that our women were in leadership positions. There has never not been a time where our women were not in leadership positions, right? Some of us that are Yasharalites, your foremothers may have been Hamitic, right? We know that some of the Yasharalite men married Hamitic women, right? So some of these women were priestess. Some of these women, even in, I want to say on the continent of Africa, were in fact kings. I still, in 2023, have people telling me, men are kings, not women, but and I'm like, you have access to a phone. You have access to the internet. One simple Google search would have told you that there were women kings, especially in Africa, okay? One of them I posted on my Instagram was King Jinga. Okay? Only one recognized by Europe. Not that that really is a big deal. But she, even though, first of all, go and watch that on Netflix. Because Netflix, I feel like, been putting out a lot of heat as far as Africa is concerned. Y'all know the whole stuff going on, honey, from the Queen Charlotte to the Queen Cleopatra, and they got a series. Like, I feel like people just straight bypass Jenga, but you really need to watch that because you could see that our women, because here's the thing. Like I told y'all, the enemy puts out lies and sprinkles the truth in there also. But that still makes the thing a lie, because if you omit information or you twist something up, it's still a lie. But they put I guess what I'm trying to say is they put the truth in plain sight. So people had a problem with the Woman King movie. They had a problem with all of these things because they have been, even though it's an agenda to make our women look hard, you have to realize from the Eurocentric lens, stuff that we had going on, you had them calling us savages. You had them calling our features unattractive, right? If you look at a lot of y'all Shirlite women, like y'all could see, I work out so I have muscles, right? Or because of genetics, simple household chores that I do. Like, let's say if I'm digging up weeds in the yard, if I'm, cutting down, trees or whatever I'm doing, debris or whatever, if you're sweeping, raking, or any of that, you're developing muscles due to genetics. Like, things that other women would not be able to pull after working out, doing household chores and work, I'm able to pull. You know what I'm saying? To the average, and I'll see men like running over, and that's when your femininity kicks in. If a man sees you and extends help, let him do it. Right? Half the time I be around some type of men and I'm doing stuff out in public, and they be sitting there looking like, how is she able to lift that? It's because they don't work out. And they be somewhere trying to be Captain Hero to you, sir, buddy, you got to work out. Now, back to what I was saying. King Jenga on Netflix shows you the different types of things. Like, women were diplomats because of the mental process and the wisdom, because women in Torah were considered wisdom. They represent different types of wisdoms, like strange wisdom, virginal wisdom from the Most High. Just when you start getting into those, conspiracy and, wisdom, because now you're seeing a lot of women is into that new age type of stuff. All of that stuff represents different wisdoms. Do you either get wisdom from the Most High, or you try to, I would say illegally get it from other realms and demons that have access to intel that want to use you to be doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? But our women, we have always been in leadership. We have always kept home. And I feel like we're unfairly demonized as masculine because our men have been washed in their mind from a Eurocentric lens. We've never been damsels in distress, because the woman was designed to, whatever you give her, she gonna multiply that, right? You give her lemons, she gonna make lemonade out of lemons. That's what she's going to do. So as I'm researching more and more, you guys, about our culture and the things that women would do to be keepers of home, it is beautiful to watch. All right, so this is in Jenga, because there's a lot of people that's slow, for the slow ones in the back, that, females can't be a king, because they don't know history.
Jenga was the only African leader to be recognized by European rulers in power as a female king.
Only one. Now, it's beautiful to see, and I wish that more of our men overstood that. I'm not trying to overstep you because Abba Yah imparted wisdom to me. In fact, it was designed to help you, but you prideful and egotistical and you want to get in your own way and don't want the information, and then trying to figure out why you can't get that career or that idea off the ground. You should just listen to the idea that your woman gave you and then expand upon that. Because if you think about it, a lot of men, especially in Yasharelite culture, they have a problem with acknowledging that about women. The Most High chose Rebecca to choose who the nation was going to come from. You notice that he didn't go with Isaac's thought process, because women sometimes could spiritually see stuff that men are not able to see sometimes, right? Like, even though men logical and all that good stuff, women be like, no, it's that other child. I've been watching him. It's the other child. The Most High told, been speaking to the Most High. The Most High told me it's that other one. I know you love this other one, but it's this other one over here. Because if you think about it, men be looking at stuff from a perspective, but you ever notice that your mom a lot of the time be the one that like is nurturing, the one that believe in you, the one that be pushing your ideas? Like, just think about a lot of the men that are in the sports league or whatever. A lot of the times it was their mom that pushed them to go hard or to follow after their dreams and stuff. But oftentimes, and two, I want to talk about them, trying to paint Yasharelite women as aggressive, and we've always been warriors. Like, and I think a lot of people had a problem. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the problem that I had with the Woman King and those movies. The problem that I'ma always have is because my dad was a Yasharelite man, so I'm always gonna have a problem with them trying to erase the man, because who are they to erase the creation that the Most High made? You know what I'm saying? So that's an agenda. That part of it was the part I was upset about. It was an agenda to erase the melanated man, and to downplay his essentialness to our community. But on the other side, I disliked how people came for the aspect of women as warriors. When in fact, if we look throughout history, especially like in the Haitian Revolution, Vita, what's her name? Vita, I think Campa, something like that, from who was a Yasharelite that was doing the work. It was a lot of women doing the good work in Africa, right? It was a lot of women that was warriors and doing, fighting against colonialism and all of this other stuff. And they made that like it's something that is a negative, but we did it though. You know what I'm saying? The same way today, I just feel like they always use the positivity as a way to kind of manipulate. Because the same way today, you see a lot of our women are on the front line. It's something that's natural to them because that's what they was doing in Africa. Like, you've seen this, right? It was when some of our women during revolutions was fighting through revolutions while pregnant. Now, I'm not saying that women should on an everyday have to be in survival mode, but I'm saying this is something that was our culture that women were doing. So to try to make that like that's a negative, but you can't call nobody else when the stuff be going down. You notice they always want to get a sister going when stuff be going down, because they know we could make some stuff shake. That's just an ability that we have. So the aggression and stuff is fine then. But also, you know what I'm saying? If you from the lion tribe, the tribe of Yehuda, you know that female lionesses are very territorial. Like I said, women are homemakers and keepers of the home. So being a part of a keeper of the home, that is a trait that you would be very territorial about your home. You got to protect your home against a strange woman. You got to always be on the wall. You got to always be praying. You know what I'm saying? You got to always have a connection with the Most High so that you can see. Because sometimes, man be caught up in the stuff he caught up in because all of the stresses that come with, being a man that he has to go through. And sometimes because he has so many things to think about and multitasking is not necessarily their strong suit, they be missing stuff. And I just don't like how sometimes they don't like to acknowledge that. Women, we are pay attention to detail. We know that the temperature is a different temperature in the house. This was shifted 5 degrees to the right, and it wasn't like that when I put it there. Like, women, we pay attention to detail, but that is a part of the gift that the Most High has given us, that we pay attention to detail. Because they try to, man they look and name, but women, we pay attention to detail. How many times, men be making some of this stuff seem like it's a negative thing. It took you 10 minutes to get down the block to the Aldi's, and this GPS is saying that it's supposed to take you such and such amount of time. Women, we pay attention to that. So I don't like that they unfairly compare us to the Eurocentric woman where their men have never felt comfortable giving them rights. Women in Africa, we own property. There was, especially if you look at stuff about Egypt or whatever, because some of us, like I said, some of our foremothers came from Egypt. They was Hamitic women. They came from Egypt. Even if you from certain tribes, that your foremother came from Egypt. Like we like a lot of Yashabelites that like to bash Hamites, and it's like I'm looking at them crazy because it's like your foremother definitely came from Egypt. Yours was definitely a Hamite. The stupidity of it all. But getting back to it. So, we've come from these places, especially in Africa, like women walking to get water to make sure they had, their kids and their food was cooked. And, and we saw that in our communities here in America, where our grandmothers and great-grandmothers used to be, keepers of the home. They kept all the family together. They made sure everybody gathered like a village, almost like a village elder. You know what I'm saying? But these things are important to take note of. Like, you have to come to the realization that you are not those other people. Your woman is not going to be the damsel in distress. Okay? She's just not. If you look at Deborah, she was married. She respected her husband, but she still had a high position in Yasharah. Like, she was a judge. Judith. Judith had to take on a mission and was like, y'all don't need to ask me what I'm about to do, but I'm about to go make it shake. Okay? She had to do what she had to do, and she came back with what she had to come back with. Some missions the Most High cannot send men on because of the nature of the mission. A woman needed to go on the mission. Because he know y'all. He know us too. And it's certain things that he can't send us on because he know it requires a man. So I think that we need to start, this is just my vent session to y'all. Respecting these differences, that we're not these other people. We don't need to downplay each other. And we need to get into our culture so that we can understand each other and why we do certain things. Your woman is not masculine. If you in a survival mode, of course you're going to be in warrior mode more because you constantly are running after, running into threats. You can't be, devil stop troubling me and all low. You got to say, drop your weapons. it's a different response. They did a scientific response. You gotta growl. You gotta sometimes put your claws in. That don't mean that you can't get a, you can't go back into feminine and get out of warrior mode. It's just that you have to feel safe to do so. It's times, when I feel fancy and I have my nice, shea and coconut butters, and you had a nice bubble bath, and you just be in your whole female, feminine energy element. You tell your husband what you want to eat for dinner. You in your whole female element, right? You be worried about your kids. You like, okay, he good. I can relax now. That type of vibe. But I just wanted to come and talk to y'all briefly because I just feel like we just need to start speaking to one another and respecting one another. I'll see y'all soon in the next video. Y'all let me know if y'all got what I was saying.